Hello and welcome. I'm Pallavi Sharma and you're watching Bees World Weekly, a show where we bring you the top stories of the week. Let's start with the market check. Markets extended their weakness, closing in red for a fifth straight week on July 25th. Sensex closed 0.88% down at 81,463.09 points, and Nifty was down 0.9% at 24,837 points. Only the pharma sector ended in green. Rest, auto, IT, metal, FMCG ended in red. Top gainers on Nifty were Cipla, SBI Life, Apollo Hospitals, Dr. Reddy's and Sun Pharma. Top losers were Bajaj Finance, Shriram Finance, ICICI Bank, Bajaj Auto and Tech Mahindra. The rupee ended weak at 86.53 against the dollar. Gold price for 24 karat gold was at 98,152 rupees per 10 gram and 22 karat gold was at 89,973 rupees per 10 grams. The United States is in a full trade war mode, or depending on who you ask, a full trade deal mode. Donald Trump, the President of the United States, has launched what many are calling a trade negotiation blitz, finalizing verbal agreements with Japan, the Philippines and Indonesia all within just a few days. And it's not just about diplomacy, it's a deadline-driven dash. With August 1st looming, countries are now scrambling to cut deals and dodge Trump's planned reciprocal tariff hikes. In typical Trump fashion, he did not hold back to appreciate himself while cracking deals. We just finalized what could be the biggest trade agreement ever with Japan. This is what he said, calling it a deal that proves success only comes when everyone benefits. But does everyone benefit? Under the so-called deal, the US will still impose 15% tariff on Japanese goods and a 19% tariff on imports from Philippines. The narrative: if countries want to avoid even steeper tariffs, they need to offer concessions and fast. Let's start with Japan. They have agreed to give US companies greater access into their auto and agricultural sectors, both cornerstones of Japanese economy. They'll import more American rice, cars and farm products and have pledged a $550 billion investment into the US economy. Trump says America will retain 90% of the gains from this deal. That's a bold claim. Then there is Philippines. Their end of bargain includes eliminating all tariffs on US goods. That means more American soybeans, wheat and pharmaceuticals entering into Philippines markets. Meanwhile, Indonesia has reportedly agreed to a $3.2 billion order for Boeing aircraft, but specifics are still murky. And here's the twist. None of these agreements are signed. No official documents, no legal framework, no legislative approval. They are all verbal understandings, high on headlines and low on substance. Trump may be celebrating, but the fine print is missing. And so is the guarantee. And given his track record, where deals can be torn apart or reshaped overnight, it's unclear how much of this will actually hold. So where does India stand in all this? Despite 5 rounds of trade talks with the US, there is no deal on the horizon yet. The sticking point: Trump's push for access into the Indian agricultural market and the dairy market, sectors that are not just economically critical but politically and culturally sensitive for millions of Indian farmers. For Delhi, accepting these terms would mean upsetting a large portion of its population and potentially undermining its food security. So for now, India is holding back, and rightly so. Trump's current model appears one-sided. The US keeps some tariffs but demand full market access, investment, promises and purchase of American goods in return. That's not free trade, that's leverage trade, and countries like India are cautious about walking into this trap. 3 countries, 3 big announcements, no signatures, no guarantees, just Trump's word. As August 1st approaches, global economies are rushing to protect themselves from these reciprocal tariffs that could shock the supply chains and disrupt trade flows. But the blueprint is clear. Trump is turning trade into a pressure game. And the big question remains, will countries like India play by Trump's rules or choose to walk away? Trump says India is a friend, but his actions are not giving a friendly vibe, because what friend doesn't let the other succeed or imposes sanctions on them? Let's get the latest action on the spotlight. Trump had told major tech companies like Google, Microsoft and Apple to stop hiring workers, including from India, and focus on creating jobs in the US. Earlier this year, he said that Apple should stop manufacturing in India or it would face 25% tariffs. In another news, Trump wants to impose higher tariffs on BRICS nations, which India is a part of, and he wants to impose sanctions on Russian oil. 100% sanctions that could hurt India's energy sector. Let's talk about the recent statement in detail. Speaking at an AI summit in Washington, Trump said American companies should put national interest first and said that US tech firms have made huge profits while setting up operations in China and hiring large number of Indian workers. He argued that this has come at the cost of American workers. His statements sparked concerns among tech workers in India, while no official steps have been announced yet to limit hiring abroad. However, experts say that such remarks from the president could shake up hiring plans of major tech firms. For Indian professionals, many of whom are employed in roles related to software development, data science and AI in the US, Trump's message means uncertainty. In recent years, many US companies have increased their hiring in India to cut costs and tap into the country's large pool of skilled engineers. Another recent one was from Trump's ally. A US senator said that he wants to crush and punish India. Senator Lindsey Graham said this, and it was not just about India. He threatened every country that buys oil from Russia. China, India and Brazil buy 80% of Russian crude. He said that these countries are propping up Russia's war machine and that this is blood money. He said, and I quote, "We are going to tear the hell out of you." Now, this is a threat to a trading partner. Earlier, the same person suggested 500% secondary tariffs on Russia, meaning these tariffs will be imposed on trading partners of Russia so they stop buying goods from them, hurting Russian economy. And there is the catch. Europe will not face these tariffs because they send arms to Ukraine despite buying tons of natural gas from Russia. And the irony is, Europe is buying Russian oil directly from India after it's refined in the country. It indeed is one of the largest buyers of Indian refined oil. So what is India saying now? India says that it will keep its interests first and protect the energy security. India says that it has plenty of other options. So before calling Trump a friend, remember this. Since he returned to office, he imposed reciprocal tariffs on India. He claimed credit for ceasefire between India and Pakistan. He hosted Pakistan's Field Marshal Asim Munir at the White House. His companies are promising to invest millions of dollars in Pakistan. He warned companies to get out of India and had threatened 100% secondary tariff on India for buying Russian oil, and now has asked tech companies to stop hiring Indians. So here's what India must do and what it's doing. Sticking to its principles of India first and not getting bullied by Trump, because when it's Trump, relying on him means expecting a thief to hold your bag and not run away with it. Donald Trump announced his ambitious defense project this year, the Golden Dome. And since its announcement, speculations were that Elon Musk would help his friend build it. But now they don't talk anymore like they used to do. So Trump is looking for another billionaire, or rather other billionaire buddies who could help him build his defense dream. Who are they, and can Trump ignore his ex-friend when he is the world's richest man? Here's a report.
The United States is reviewing its plans for the $175 billion Golden Dome missile defense system, as officials in the Trump administration look beyond SpaceX for potential partners. This development follows a recent and widely publicized rift between Donald Trump and Elon Musk in June, which has led to a reassessment of SpaceX's role in the massive project. SpaceX, initially regarded as a leading candidate, now faces competition as the government is eager to diversify and avoid placing this critical national security initiative in the hands of a single company. The move for alternatives is fueled by concerns in both the Pentagon and the White House about relying exclusively on one provider for a project of such scale and importance. Amazon's Project Kuiper, spearheaded by Jeff Bezos, is being seriously considered for its extensive low Earth orbit satellite network. Although Project Kuiper is primarily commercial, its potential military uses, such as missile tracking and secure communications, align with the aims of the Golden Dome initiative. The administration's approach signals an openness to integrating non-traditional players from the tech sector into defense contracts. Alongside Amazon, established defense contractors like Northrop Grumman, Lockheed Martin, and L3Harris are also under evaluation for their advanced capabilities in tracking and missile warning systems. Additionally, technology firms from Silicon Valley, some with prior ties to the administration, have been reviewed as part of the selection process. Despite current tensions, reports say SpaceX's long history of successful satellite launches and its experience with government contracts still position it as a strong player, especially for launch operations. However, Elon Musk had earlier indicated that SpaceX is not pursuing the Golden Dome defense contract, emphasizing the company's ongoing focus on its mission to facilitate human life on Mars.
Elon Musk, the world's richest and the most unpredictable man. But looks like his empire is collapsing, and all this is because of his actions. From posting memes to buying Twitter to working for the government and now standing against it and joining politics again, his actions are as unpredictable as a summer storm, sudden, chaotic, and impossible to ignore. Now the businesses are suffering the loss. Tesla, Elon Musk's big revolutionary project, seems to be failing. Tesla's Q2 numbers came out this week. Its revenue dropped to $22.5 billion. This is the biggest quarterly decline in over a decade. Car sales dropped by 16% and deliveries fell by 14%. Now, this was not surprising as analysts saw it coming, but Tesla's shares were down 8.2%. In the earnings call, Elon Musk warned of a rough year ahead. So it only got worse. Now Musk became the world's richest man after Tesla became a $1 trillion company, and shareholders were impressed by his vision, futuristic designs, self-driving cars, launches that everyone waited for. Now the vision is unclear. In the last few months, executives have exited. Tariffs are now high, government initiatives are cut with the new spending bill, and the prices are up high. But Musk seems to have gone all beyond it. He now suddenly wants to start a political party against the party that he campaigned for, led Doge for. He fought with Trump, and now Trump is looking beyond Musk's companies to give government contracts too. As per reports, SpaceX is offering shares to insiders that could value the company at $400 billion. And that offer also said that Elon Musk could re-enter politics. Elon Musk has started the third party, the America Party, already as per his tweets. And there where the problem comes from. Elon Musk is the CEO of many companies: Tesla, SpaceX, XAI, Neuralink, and the Boring Company. And these companies rely on government contracts to fill their treasuries. So Musk's potential ambitions will hurt his companies, and they're already hurting them. Now, Trump administration wants to expand beyond Musk's companies like the Golden Dome projects. They are looking beyond SpaceX for building this Golden Dome. So mixing politics and business might not be a good idea, and Musk should know that better now, looking back at how Tesla protests left his company losing billions each day in market value. From foes to friends to foes, Thailand and Cambodia are fighting once again. Last year, the two countries opened permanent border checkpoint at Thai-Cambodian Friendship Bridge, turning the new leaf into their love-hate relationship over the last few years. Now, the border region is seeing clashes again, killing 15 civilians and many soldiers, and over 1 lakh people have been displaced. While the issue is centuries old, the tension surged in May after a Cambodian soldier was allegedly killed during a scuffle with Thai troops in the Emerald Triangle, which is a disputed area which both Thailand and Cambodia claim that it's theirs. Now, it followed a series of exchanges and both sides accused each other of being the aggressor. This saw both countries ramping up troops in the border areas in June, but then things had slowed down after that. Even then, some issues continued, like banning the exports from each countries and threats like Thailand saying that they would cut electricity in Cambodia. In July, 5 Thai soldiers suffered critical injuries in a landmine blast that Thailand blamed on Cambodia. However, the country called all of these claims baseless. Cambodia had basically denied all these claims and said that the landmines were from the past wars and that landmines remained from past wars. The bilateral ties plunged to their lowest points in a decade, and Thailand expelled the Cambodian ambassador and closed all border crossings. Reacting to it, Cambodia also vacated its embassy in Bangkok. On July 24, the conflict made headlines as soldiers of both nations exchanged fire near the border provinces of Surin and Odorminchi. Sisaket, which is a province in Thailand, was worst hit. As per Thailand's foreign ministry, Cambodia fired rockets at both military and non-military sites in Thailand, and so Thailand had retaliated by bombing border areas in Cambodia with its F-16 fighter jets. Now, this is not a new conflict. It's actually a century-old tension. Thailand and Cambodia share a land border spanning 800 kilometers drawn by the French when they occupied Cambodia. An agreement was reached in 1907 on the borderline, while Thailand had later contested that the 11th century Hindu temple was placed within Cambodian territory. In 1959, the International Court of Justice ruled in favor of Cambodia and legally it fell into its territory. While Thailand had recognized that order at that time, it argued that the surrounding areas were still disputed. Ties between the two countries soared in 2008 when Cambodia tried to list this temple with the UNESCO. Then in 2011 too, a major confrontation took place, and the latest one is in 2025. This week, the crypto market surpassed $4 trillion mark and Bitcoin saw a massive hike. This came some days after Trump signed the Crypto-Friendly Genius Act. What is it? Will it make America a crypto capital? Here's a report.
On 19th of July, U.S. President Donald Trump has signed into law what he calls one of the most groundbreaking financial reforms in American history, and a hell of an act, the Genius Act. Called the Guiding and Establishing National Innovation for U.S. Stablecoins Act, the Genius Act creates the first ever federal regulatory framework for stablecoins, digital tokens pegged to the U.S. dollar or other assets. Under the law, stablecoin issuers must back every single token with $1 or a U.S. Treasury bill and publicly disclose their reserves every month. It's about trust, transparency, and protecting the everyday user. The Genius Act puts consumers first, requiring strong protections against fraud, compliance with anti-money laundering laws, and new rules to prevent deceptive marketing, like falsely claiming government endorsement. In a bold move, it also gives stablecoin holders priority in bankruptcy cases, meaning your digital dollars come first if an issuer goes under. The Genius Act was passed alongside two companion bills: the Clarity Act, defining digital assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum, and the Anti-CBDC Act, banning the Federal Reserve from issuing a retail digital dollar, part of Trump's push to block what he calls government surveillance currency. Supporters hail it as a major win for the US dollar, making America the crypto capital of the world. While critics warn of deregulating too hastily, Trump presented the act as a fulfillment of his promise to make America the crypto capital. He described the law as the greatest revolution in financial technology since the birth of the internet. Now, what are stablecoins? Stablecoin is a type of crypto specifically designed to maintain a stable value, being pegged to an external asset, which is the US dollar in this case, or the US Treasury bills. So while the traditional cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin are known for the price volatility, stablecoins aim to reduce this volatility, making them more suitable for everyday transactions as a medium of exchange. There are several types of these. One is the fiat-backed stablecoin, which are collateralized by reserves held in bank accounts. Crypto-backed stablecoins are ones that use other cryptocurrencies as collateral. And algorithmic stablecoins, which use smart contracts and algorithms to adjust supply automatically in response to demand changes without physical collateral.
In a landmark move, India and the United Kingdom have officially signed a free trade agreement, a deal that took years in making. It's the first such pact India has signed in over a decade and the UK's most significant trade agreement since Brexit. Now, negotiations began in January 2022, stretching across multiple governments, and nearly 3 years after that, the final agreement has been signed during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to the UK, and it was hailed as historic by both leaders. This happened this week. The deal covers 26 chapters from goods and services to intellectual property and investment. It's designed to double bilateral trade from $55 billion to $120 billion by 2030, and there's more. A social security pact called the Double Contributions Convention exempts Indian professionals in the UK from paying into social security systems twice, a win for both workers and companies. Indian consumers can expect lower prices on several British goods like Scotch, whiskey and gin. Tariffs have been slashed from 150% to 75% and eventually will come down to 40% in a decade. Cars are also going to get cheaper. Import duties on British vehicles will drop from 100% to just 10%. Luxury goods like chocolates, cosmetics, medical devices, your biscuits and even salmon all will see tariff cuts. For British exporters and Indian importers, this spells more trade, more choices and lower costs. For India, the biggest win is zero duty access for 99% of its exports to the UK. This opens a massive opportunity for key labor-intensive sectors like textile and apparel, leather goods and footwear, gems and jewelry, marine products like shrimp and tuna, processed foods like pickles, pulses, mango pulp and spices. Tariffs on these goods, previously ranging between 4% to 16%, will now disappear, making Indian goods more competitive. Industries like engineering, auto components, EVs, sport goods and electronics are also poised to benefit. Exports in these sectors could potentially double by 2030. Indian workers in the UK will also save up to 400 crore rupees in a year through the social security exemption. chefs, yoga instructors, musicians, and other contract-based professionals will gain greater access into UK visas. Now, business travel and intra-corporate transfers will also get very smoother with this. Big Indian companies like Tata Motors, Arvind Limited, Bata, Relaxo, your Bharat Forge, and Mahindra Electric are likely to gain significantly from this deal. And investment is already flowing. UK-based Carbon Clean is setting up a $10 million office in Mumbai, and other UK companies have also signed export deals with the Indian startups and Indian companies. The UK government is calling this the biggest post-Brexit economic success. India will eliminate tariffs on 90% of UK goods, making it easier to export everything from whiskey to aerospace components in the UK markets. Now, British firms will also gain access to Indian government tenders worth over 4 lakh crore rupees annually. Major companies like Aston Martin, Jaguar Land Rover, Airbus, and Rolls-Royce are likely to gain from these agreements. Together, the deal is expected to boost the UK economy by $6.5 billion by 2040. The India-UK Free Trade Agreement isn't just a political win, it's a sweeping economic pact that costs will be cut now and production will get a boost. India will get an upper hand due to lower tariffs, and jobs will be created for exporters and investors and consumers on both sides. This is just the beginning. A political earthquake has shaken Japan. A former supermarket manager turned YouTuber has just pulled off one of the most unexpected election wins in recent Japanese history. His name Sohei Kamiya, his party Sunsito, right-wing populist outfit built from scratch during the COVID-19 pandemic. And in the weekend's upper house elections, they surged from just 1 seat to 14. Sohei Kamiya isn't your typical Japanese politician. He started Sunsito in 2020 by rallying people online. With over 460,000 YouTube subscribers, his party grew from digital echo chamber to national force. Initially known for fringe conspiracy theories during the pandemic, Sunsito has since rebranded under a powerful Trump-style slogan, Japanese first. It echoes the populist tones of Donald Trump's MAGA movement and Europe's far-right parties like Germany's AFT and Reform UK. Sunsito's message is crystal clear. Fewer foreigners, more focus on Japanese workers. Their party has tapped into growing anxieties over tourism, immigration, and economic stagnation. With Japan's foreign population rising and record numbers of tourists coming in, some locals feel overwhelmed. From overcrowded towns to depleted hot springs, Sunsito wants caps on foreign residents, tighter immigration, and fewer welfare benefits for non-citizens. They also want lower taxes, less reliance on vaccines, tougher defense policies, and more anti-espionage laws. Sunsito's rise signals something deeper, a growing distrust of mainstream politics and a shift in Japanese public mood. Its Prime Minister Ishiba has been ruling with his party, the LDP, has now lost their majority in both houses of the parliament. It's the first time in 15 years that LDP has pushed out of control, and it's massive blow for them. Calls for Ishiba's resignation have grown louder. So far, he resisted, but pressure is now mounting. A YouTuber has entered Japan's halls of power. A populist tide is rising, and the future of one of Asia's most stable democracies suddenly looks a lot more unpredictable. This is not just about Japan. It's a part of global shift where social media stars now can become political kingmakers and fringe movements can rewrite the rules. So looks like the best way to get to people's heart is to appear on their screens in a good way. What do you do if you have an affair? Try the best to not get caught, meet in secret, less crowded places. But this one couple wanted to get out of the box. They went to a Coldplay concert and were caught in 4K. What's more surprising is that they are not people like you and me. The man was a CEO of a company called Astronomer, cuddling with the chief people's officer of the company when Coldplay's Kiss Cam shot them. So big people, big breakups, and an affair in the corporate world becomes expensive if you are a CEO. Here's how much this big blunder will cost the CEO of Astronomer.
In July 2025, tech startup Astronomer was thrust into an extraordinary media storm. During a Coldplay concert, the stadium's Kiss Cam landed on Andy Byron, then CEO of Astronomer, and Kristen Cabot, the company's chief people officer.
Oh, look at these two. All right, come on, you're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
The pair were seen cuddling and sharing an intimate moment, all captured live in front of thousands of fans. The scene quickly went viral on social media, sparking widespread speculation about their relationship. Within hours, Astronomer's board placed both Andy Byron and Kristen Cabot on leave, pending an internal investigation into their conduct. The company released an official statement, reaffirming its commitment to ethical standards and began its search for new leadership. Facing mounting pressure, Andy Byron resigned from his role as CEO less than 24 hours after being put on leave. The company's co-founder, Pete DeJoy, stepped in as interim CEO. Byron, a married man, saw his personal life come under close scrutiny. His wife, Megan Kerrigan, promptly removed his surname from her social media profiles, fueling rumors of a possible divorce. So what happens if they divorce? Massachusetts law stipulates an equitable and often equal division of assets for long-term marriages, especially those lasting over 7 years. The law considers a variety of factors: duration of the marriage, conduct of both parties, assets, income, health, age, and the needs of the children. Legal experts estimate Byron's net worth to be between $20 million and $70 million. Under Massachusetts' 50-50 marital law, Megan Kerrigan could be entitled to receive at least half of that sum in a divorce settlement, ranging from $10 million to as much as $35 million or more. Given the couple's 25-year marriage and the embarrassment caused to their 2 children, courts could account for therapy and child support expenses as part of the settlement. In short, what began as a moment on a Kiss Cam is now a case study in leadership responsibility, workplace policy, and how personal conduct, especially when public, can have serious legal and financial consequences.
That's all for today, and I will see you in the next week. Till then, keep watching ET Now for more such news and views.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.